When I was in high school, I had a question. What part of you experiences pleasure? You experience pleasure when you do good, and you can also experience pleasure when you do bad. So what part of you feels pleasure? Are there two parts of you, the good and the bad? But then who are you? Good question. Let's set out to do great things. You know you can.
You can soar like a bird.
Anyway, so I had this question for a long time. In my experience, whenever I have a question, it might take some time, but somehow the answer always finds me. About a year later, I was sitting in class, and my teacher explained something that blew my mind and totally answered the question. She said, everything in this world is good. Even bad things that seem completely bad have some good in it. The only way something can exist is if there's good in it. When someone does something wrong and has pleasure from it, the pleasure is coming from the good in it. So everything good or bad has good in it. The pleasure comes from the good in it. This is a fascinating concept. If you think about it, it makes so much sense. Let's say someone is disrespectful to authority. They can have pleasure from that. It might be the wrong thing to do. Then what's the pleasure coming from? Well, each situation is different. A person themselves is really the only one who can figure out what they are enjoying from something. But to illustrate this, let's see what a possibility can be. Let's look at something that is good. Standing up to a bully. Imagine you are a meek little 6th grade overweight kid, and a classmate of yours is constantly making fun of you and bullying you for the amusement of his friends. And every day you go home in tears, promising yourself you're never going to school again. Then one day you had enough. You completely lose yourself. You give it to him good. You yell at him. You yell and scream so fiery, it frightens him. Maybe you get in trouble with the principal after that, but you feel good. Why? You stood up for yourself. You didn't let this kid bully you. You expressed yourself. You asserted your value. You didn't let him walk all over you. It's a good feeling because you are valuable and you own that. Now, with disrespecting authority, you're not enjoying the bad in that. You're enjoying something that makes you more of a person, not less of a person. Maybe what you're enjoying is similar to standing up to a bully. You're enjoying expressing yourself, or standing up for yourself, or standing up for what you feel is only fear. I'm not saying in any way that you should do something that's wrong. What I am saying is that pleasure only comes from the good in things. Whether you do right or wrong, good or bad, pleasure only comes from the good in what you're doing. Pleasure is experienced by the soul. If pleasure only comes from the good, why seek pleasure from doing what you know is wrong? Certainly, you'll get more pleasure if you go straight to the source of pleasure, doing the good itself. Think about the things you enjoy doing that you know you shouldn't. Most people would agree that watching lots of movies is not the best way to spend your time. Yet movies are extremely enjoyable. If pleasure is experienced by your soul, what do movies feed your soul? What's better, knowledge or experience? Let's say, God forbid, you were diagnosed with a serious illness that needed to be treated by a specialist. And you have a choice between two doctors. One has years of experience, and the other just graduated top in his class. Even if the second one has a greater IQ, you'd still choose the doctor with more experience. Why? Because its experience is so much more valuable than simple knowledge. Experience is life itself. Living through life itself gives you far more insight than learning from textbooks. Why do we like movies so much? Good movies take us through experiences. We learn so much more from experiences than from knowledge. We want to understand the world. We want to understand ourselves. We want to understand human nature. We watch movies to get this experience, to become smarter, to become more, to be more experienced at living. In truth, what gives us more experience? Helping a friend problem solve to fix the relationship? Or watching someone do that in a movie? Of course we get more experience from the real world. At the end of the day, movies are not true. They can be true to life. The best movies are true to life, but actual life experiences are greater experience than experiencing something on a screen. You see how pleasure comes from the good in something? The reason we enjoy movies is not because it's wasting time. It's because we grow from the lifelike experience. But you know something? You might check in with yourself and realize that you actually enjoy wasting time. You might enjoy just sitting and doing nothing. So my question to you then is, do you enjoy wasting time because it's a bad thing to do? Or is there something else that makes it pleasurable? Maybe you think you enjoy wasting time, but really you enjoy relaxing, which is a really good thing to do. Relaxing is a very healthy thing. It is not a waste of time. It's practicing serenity. It's becoming one with yourself. Think about the things you enjoy that are wrong. Maybe you enjoy junk food that you know is unhealthy and bad for you. Remember, your soul is the part of you that experiences pleasure. If you are having pleasure, it's your soul that's enjoying something about the experience. What's your soul gaining from eating the junk food? Maybe it's a sense of comfort. Maybe it's your way of telling yourself that you are okay. Your soul has a necessity to feel that you are okay. It's your soul's number one basic need. Your soul needs to feel like you are okay, otherwise it cannot survive. Now again, I'm not saying that you should just do anything if you enjoy it. Rather, use the knowledge you get from checking in with yourself on what your soul is enjoying to get real pleasure. If the reason you enjoy junk food is because your soul needs comfort, go directly to the real pleasure. Give your soul the comfort it needs. Maybe you need to compliment yourself more often. Maybe you need to tell yourself it's okay when you make a mistake. Maybe you need to acknowledge your accomplishments more. Then your soul will experience the authentic pleasure of comfort rather than the fake comfort you had sought until then, and you won't need to get that comfort from the junk food. I'm not saying that if you enjoy junk food, your soul wants comfort necessarily. Everyone is different. You gotta figure out what your soul is seeking, what your soul is enjoying in the junk food, and take it from there. But one thing I guarantee, your soul is enjoying something good in the food, not the bad. Remember, people are good. We are our souls. We experience pleasure from being good and only good. If it seems we are enjoying something that's bad and the only thing we are enjoying is the good in it. So why seek something that only has a sliver of good in it if you can seek something that is totally good? If you want to get the most pleasure out of life, being good is the way to go. Now, I have a question for you. If all this is true, if enjoyment only comes from the good in something, why do bad things seem more pleasurable than good? Why do they seem more pleasurable? Or do you believe that good things do seem more pleasurable? I would love to hear what you think in the comments below. And while you're at it, please like, subscribe, and bell so you could get similar content to this video. It's been great chatting with you.